make so great job because we reached already the common results. So I'm not going to so much mention about the numbers and so much. Actually, we don't use so much graph because we didn't have so much time. Because of Visme, last minute say that make a group, and then and in our group no one is studied before, so we have to make it again. So anyway, let me introduce myself. My name is Necda Oğuz. I am the president of the Ramaya. And then I was elected last year, just a few months ago. So it was 2016. So when I undertook to the government, I see that, okay, the Ramaya has advantages, but there are some disadvantages more. So that's why I built up my cabinet and I built up a strategy team. So let me introduce my team. The Minister of the Migration, the Sungwoo. Is Sungwoo here? Raise up? No? Okay. And Son Jin Ha, it's called Jimmy, Minister of Finance. And Vlad Gregory is Minister of Development. And of course, the dear Anika Rahman is Minister of the Labor. So we gathered and then we try to make how we improve our country more. So we make some diagnosis. As you know, the Najwa is already mentioned the country facts. The thing is just you already see the numbers. The women's always long living for men, so this is the women power. But they are not always an advantage like the life expenses always. So let's check it out to the economic overview. Just a few graphs. And Ramaya is one of the regions that faces growing economy. It's already, the average is 5.9 something, and the World Bank is will accepting that it's going to be continued the next years. And due to the economic growth, moderate and extreme power rates have dramatically fallen. Sorry. And Ramaya is has many. It's a source of the mines. Copper, gold, silver, petroleum, timber, coal, natural gas, and iron is very rich. But when it comes to the job creation, it's not so much create job. It's more capital oriented. We say yes. And also, my economic transformation was accompanied by major structural shift. I did this, I think. No, it's not. It's before me. Sorry. Last 10 years, there are some structural, how we can say, structural changes. So it's affected our group. It's 3.5. Yes. And yes, let's look at the overall problems. First is the informality. We are concentrating this 70% of informality we have. Youth employment is higher than the adults. I'm not going to mention about the numbers because the other groups already mentioned. There is a significant gender gap in employment and wages. 2 million to more than 2 million people has been immigrated to other countries because of the crisis and other internal conflicts in the country. And investment countries on a downward trend, so it's going down, so we have to improve the climate. Rural, indigenous and poor population of interior, in large share of the population are very vulnerable to shocks and could be pushed back into the poverty, so we have to say no and we have to stop it. And informal work, as you see the numbers, what is important is the 70% is informal work, low productivity. They are making low productivity activities. Farmers, self-employment, and informal wage works each account for 1/4 of the total employment. And self-employment is 27%, and the inactive group is really, they don't do anything. Just, imagine the population is labor force is 26%, they don't do anything. So we have to make something more. And unequal opportunities, as I mentioned, there is a gap, gender gap between men and women. Women earn averagely less than 24% less than men. And also the youth are more likely to be unemployed than the older workers. As you look at the graph, this is the adult labor force, and the green line is the youth. And if you are, there is a differences between youth and adult. And also, if you're looking I can see, the green line is again let me check, yes, green line. Okay, the darker green youth unemployment, and the darker blue is the adult unemployment. So youth unemployment is higher than the adult one. So we have young population, but we have to make them inside of the labor market. And urbans, we have the last 10 years, we make some job creation, but in which areas? It's some agriculture. We create some jobs, which is usually most productive sectors. Wholesale, retail, and some of the formal sectors is usually the government services. We create the jobs, but they are informal sector. But just consider that 70% informality always in your mind. And also, when we are making our work, we see that young firms can enter the labor market. They enter, but they cannot stay more. So we find a way how they can stay more in market and how they can create more jobs for people. So the strategies. So what we do, or what we're gonna do as a government. First of all, we have to change the investment climate. Sorry. What we think with our teams, we have to make an assessment. What's going on the area, and so that's why to address all the issues and why we have the low investment, why it's getting downtrend, and improvement to address the investment concern and strengthening some of things. As we are mentioning, it can be corrupt, but after me, I'm going to prevent it, don't worry. Preventing corruption is the first thing, and security to prevent conflict. And I'm going to, and with my cabinet, we're going to some structural changes in law and order. So we will provide more to the investors, better investment climate, inshallah. Encouraging formalization. How we can make it is the correct market distortion. What we can do to make the formalization, to facilitate easy for registration, one-stop shop for business registration, subsidies the cost of obtaining licenses. Sometimes the young company need licenses, but it takes all bureaucratic things, and and it can be costly so much. So they are avoid to take the licenses. So that's why if we provide the subsidies and obtaining licenses, so maybe we create more. We encourage them to stay in the formal side, or we can supply the transition from informal to formal. And big institutions, awareness campaign to encourage registration. Most of them in the area, they don't know where should they can apply, what is the procedure, or some of them thinks about it's so complex. No, I don't want to make it. It looks so much bureaucracy. But if we are making some awareness campaign, so I think we are preventing and we are avoiding this issue. Strengthening labor inspection of workplace safety and labor standards to scale of the informal activities. Of course, we're going to the area and the field. We need to check it. What are they doing? If they're explored, if they're doing good job or not. If there is a complaint, we're going to check it out. So we have to also strengthen our labor inspection side. Increase dissemination of advocacy of the user-friendly information on workers' rights, safety and government program. This is our Minister of Labor would do it. Thank you, Annika. And reduce labor tax wage by providing small business grants to incentive low productive firms to formalize. Increase government credibility to deliver future social insurance benefits. So this is the second point after the preventing the informal work, encouraging the formalization. It's kind of solution. And raising productivity. We find the same result like the Ramaya group, and we should make the value chain analysis on food processing because the agriculture area is high and manufacturing area is high informal. So if we and how we can, it's already big. So how we can make it the more productive? We discuss about it. If you're using the value chain and on food processing or high volume manufacturing sector, so it's also raise up their productivity, and when they are productive, they create the jobs. And insurance product targeted to low productive firms and farmers to facilitate risk taking. Provide information links to farmers to small firm on market and local trading platforms. It's just how you trade, how you can be more productive. Support to more productive inputs for small farming communities. If they are making, on the field, they're going to have crops. Maybe the government say that, or the researchers say the other product is more productive, so you can earn money and you can make money more. And entrepreneurship training. Entrepreneurship training, counseling, preparation, feedback, business plans, whatever. So, and incorporate soft skills into standard theoretical math skills, because the youth unemployment rate, and they don't want to go into the labor force. So, if you put some program, some curriculum in the school, so we are thinking that they're going to be more encouraged to go into the labor force after the school. So no more market leisure, because we have more than 2 million immigrants outside. So we could encourage the diaspora investment, and we can make some incentive for returnees. And also the remittances or the diaspora bonds can be used for our finance. Why are we putting so much technical word? Infrastructure. Okay. And incentives, we can put incentive for new firms. Remember, the young firms cannot stay in the market. Need to locate in their cities and encourage rural development schemes to increase local you understand, in lagging regions. So who's gonna make it? So this, apart from the strategy team, of course, there are will be some other ministries. So we should make a cooperative governance, and of course the Ministry of Finance to lead measures to relate to the investment climate. Minister of Planning or Development, which is Vlad, to lead measures on, you understand. Minister of Commerce, Minister of Labor to lead measures on training activities and diaspora-related activities. Minister of Education to lead measures on soft skills and vocational training program, and other stakeholders, NGOs, employers, labor unions. So they're going to, this is our plan. Thank you for attention. I would like to really thank you for my team and my government to work with you. It's a really pleasure with me. We really work hard, but we really enjoyed our night when we work. We enjoyed our dinner in a Turkish restaurant, which is Ankara. I strongly advise you. Thank you very much for listening.